for BamaCentral.com. I'm Katie Wyndham here with Blake Byler. After Alabama beat North Carolina to advance to the Elite Eight, Blake, it's almost like just hard to say that because the Sweet 16 has just been that ceiling that Alabama has bumped up against over and over again. We were in Louisville last year when they were the number 1 overall seed and couldn't get past the Sweet 16. How was Alabama able to get past it tonight?
I think you have to look first at Grant Nelson and the game that he was able to have. 24 points, 12 rebounds. It was kind of like the Grant Nelson that Alabama fans thought they were going to get at the beginning of the season with the way that Alabama hunted mismatches against him. They found ways to put him against smaller guards. He finished inside. He shot the 3 ball decently well. He had a couple blocks. Just kind of everything that he did provided a new dimension for this Alabama offense that's already really good, but he just made it that much better. Alabama got a good game out of Mark Sears, a really strong shooting game out of Rylan Griffin, so we knew that Alabama was going to have to defend really well and play a good offensive game. They were going to have to play a pretty complete game to be able to compete with and beat North Carolina, and that's kind of what they did. I mean, North Carolina got off to a fast start. Alabama stayed in the game, and even though I thought Alabama played good defense in the first half, or as good as you could play with UNC shooting 60% from 3. And then that showed in the second half. Alabama got a lot more stops. The shot making kind of evened out. I think both teams were sitting close to 40% by the end of the game. So you really got one of the most complete games that you've seen from this Alabama team. And they're hot. They're hitting their stride, and everybody says you want to be peaking at the right time. That's obviously what they're doing. We didn't think that's what they were doing going into this tournament at all, but here we are 3 games in. Alabama's 3-0 in the NCAA tournament. They're going to the Elite Eight.
And, next up is a game against Clemson, a rematch of a game of earlier this year, and so that's going to be interesting for sure. But I think the defense, like you said, it was weird because they gave up 54 points in the first half, but they played well. And then I think it reflected in the second half when they only allowed 33 points, and North Carolina, I think, finished 38% from the floor. And like you said with Grant Nelson, he struggled the first 2 games in the NCAA tournament. Tonight we saw him really have his moment, but it was really, up and down the starting lineup with, I wrote about this in the Instant Gamer, that Sears, Nelson, and Estrada have kind of been who Alabama's relied on all year, and all 3 stepped up tonight in the biggest moment to get Alabama over that hump and get them to the Elite Eight for just the second time in program history. But that'll wrap it up from Crypto.com Arena tonight. But Blake and I will be back on Saturday, and also, I guess, back tomorrow with more coverage from Los Angeles as Alabama advances and stays alive in the NCAA tournament.